Why don't we go ahead and take a look at the Red Zerg player spawning in the top right position. Playing for Team Acer, currently 2-1 in the Foreign Hope. Can he make it 3-1 here and take one step closer to the grand final? His name is Bly. But his opponent and teammate on Team Acer, ladies and gentlemen, the player who is very slightly favorite against him, I'd say by approximately 60-40, based on their head-to-head and their current form.
It's less than
that. An extremely solid guy. He is Nerchio.
60-40 wasn't a bad guess. It's actually 56-44, according to Oligulak, in favor of Nerchio.
Ooh, all right. Well,
now,
this is going to be fun.
What is actually really interesting is the last time that these two played was not too long ago. It was on the 26th of September, and that was in the Gfinity 1v1 Cup, and Bly actually won 2-1 there. But prior to that, Nerchio was on a bit of a winning streak against him, but in no way is this a guaranteed win for Nerchio. This should be a very, very close series. It's Zerg versus Zerg as well, which can make things incredibly tense because, hey, we all know what a stray Baneling can do.
Exactly, man. Like, just two Banelings at a random point in the game can do so much damage, you never know. We've got the pool coming out first here from Nerchio, playing it nice and safe, contrasting with the hatch from Bly. Now, of course, these openings are going to even themselves out, guys. Nerchio's got his pool first, which means he'll get the queen first, and he'll have that earlier inject. Bly, on the other hand, will simply have more larva from the second hatchery. It's really just two different routes of getting to the same place. Nerchio preferring to hold the option of having a couple of lings to begin with.
So we've got the spawning pool and gas coming down on both sides. Gas now for Nerchio. He's a little bit later on that, but not too much. Just going to wait to see if and when we get any drones pulled out of the gases, though, because this is really the big question you always get in ZvZ. Do they keep all three in and get speed and then pull them all? Do they keep three in, go into some Banelings? All viable possibilities, so only time will tell. Bly could potentially be looking to go for a very early speed play and a lot of speedlings, just due to the fact of the way he opened. So we'll wait to see if that is on the cards for him. Meanwhile,
I think a lot of that, actually, Maddles, will be down to Overlord positioning as well. You see Nerchio moving out with his Overlord, just intersecting Bly's right there. He's basically, like, this is kind of a bit of a read, because he's saying, if that Overlord gets a little bit too far, and I get into a position where I can start pulling up my lings without him seeing it, that could be the indicator for a speedling aggression. So we'll just keep an eye on the Overlord positioning as to whether that's a realistic option.
Well, for the moment, double queens coming on out. This is all looking safe. Bly not producing any drones yet. This is where things could start getting interesting. If he hasn't started droning, this could very easily be a lot of lings, and he's just waiting for it. Oh, Baneling has come down. Okay, it's going to be a lot of Baneling pressure now. He just wants to deny the scout first, is his primary aim. What did Nerchio see? This is vitally important.
He didn't see it. I don't think he saw it. That was really, really good.
He saw the gas, though. That's the only thing.
Yep, he waited until the lings of Nerchio were inside his main base, then kept a single ling at the ramp to pick off a Zergling if he came back down, and killed everything off. And now Bly is going for a lot of Zerglings, ladies and gentlemen. 12 on the way, but Nerchio smelling something, because like you said, he did see that gas. He's got a Baneling nest of his own down. We're going to see a Zergling Baneling explosion fest here in game number 1.
Nerchio adding in that spine crawler. This is really important, but the trouble is with the spine on this map is that the natural base is very wide open. The spine doesn't actually really cover that much. You can run some Zerglings down this right-hand flank of the natural base, run into the mineral line quite simply without even ever going into range of the spine crawler.
I think what he's done there really is saying, look, if I'm going to have to put a spine crawler somewhere, I'd like to put it somewhere where at least I can cover the ramp, is basically what Nerchio is saying, so that it's a little bit more difficult for you to run by. Frankly, he's got the two queens as well. This is going to be difficult, and here we go. The engagement is starting. The spine crawler will actually complete, not before at least one Baneling gets into the mineral line. Is it going to be enough for a decent number of works to go down? Only one going down so far, now 3. And the spine crawler, oh, come on, spine crawler. It's basically dead, but somehow it needs like 2 hits from a Zergling.
The Zerglings were prioritized to going to drones, so 6 workers were killed. Bly's still behind in the overall drone count, though, which isn't ideal. He needs to try and sort that out quite pronto, otherwise he is going to run into problems. Getting some defensive Banelings now, as Nerchio will be looking to counterattack. He's up 10 lings to 0, morphing in some Banelings of his own aggressively. That wasn't successful enough for Bly.
So here's the problem. Even with 7 workers killed this game. Bly is still behind on the worker count by 9 at the moment. And normally, you might get a player, for example, just constantly droning up behind this, but Bly isn't. He is doubling down, ladies and gentlemen, at the moment. He is continuing to build nothing but Zerglings. He's trying to pick off these Banelings as best he can. It looks like with the 2 queens, he should be able to, but his next attack now basically has to win the game. Okay, he started droning now, but Maddles, do you feel this is a bit late?
It is quite late for him to be droning, but he will be able to level it out. The trouble is that really, things just went very well for Nerchio in terms of his scout. Even though he didn't see the Baneling nest, he saw the gas and also would have seen the drone still in there. So he knew it was coming, which allowed him to put up this solid defense. The double queen block on the ramp meant that he could keep his main base safe. And just the amount of lings that were produced from Bly quicker meant that Nerchio got a drone lead early on. So he's had this better income for longer. Oh, nice little takedown there. 2 Banelings for 3. Good little switcheroo there, but still just running through these Banelings. Could lose quite a few here. Needs to be careful. He's doing a good job at the moment, though.
This is just confusing, watching Banelings waddle after each other quite some time. There we go. Final explosion taking place there. And at the end of all of this, guys, let's take some stock of where we are. Bly's only behind by a single drone. In fact, they're now actually level with each other. But Nerchio now has a 3rd hatch, from which he's got Lara, from which he's going to be able to get a queen. And that's really his advantage, taken from that early aggression that we saw from Bly. He's even putting minerals into double spine crawler now as Bly as well. So while this will keep him alive against the counterattack, as long as his spines are up, it is putting him further behind because that 3rd base is already there for Nerchio.
And the 3rd getting taken for Bly is going to be very challenging. So the Spire choice, I think, is a really wise one. This is a good map for Mutalisks anyway. Well, it's not an amazing map, but it's an okay one. There's a decent amount of dead space to come in from the main and natural base. The 3rd, you can dart before and in and out of it, so there is some opportunity to use that. But Nerchio, his star sense is good. He knows that something's up, and he's chucking down some spores while putting on more pressure.
I think Nerchio's in a situation where he says, I know Bly doesn't have a 3rd base. What's the list of things at the moment that could kill me? And not being prepared for Spire aggression is definitely one of them. A little bit more aggression going on at the 3rd. The Queen there looking like it's going to go down, but not much else at the moment. Just barely gets the Queen taken out there, which is fine, but another one was already on the way. And Nerchio's just saying, hang on, if I'm prepared for mutas, basically I'm ahead in this game.
Oh, a couple of Banelings coming in here towards the 3rd base. Should be able to... Actually, no, they didn't go for it. 2 are going to go down regardless. They should have gone for the drones anyway. But a lot of lings counterattacking now for Nerchio. This is a problem for Bly. I don't think he's going to be able to keep this 3rd.
He's just constantly having to defend at the moment, and I like the transition into the Mutalist, but he needs to be able to drone up behind it so that he has the resources he needs. He isn't going to get the 5th and 6th gas from that 3rd base. Like you said, that just got cancelled. And Nerchio, he's actually going for it here. He's saying, look, even if I trade... Oh, but excellent Baneling. Did those waddle all the way back from attacking the 3rd? Because those were clutch.
No, they came from actually on the ramp here. There was...
Okay,
it was seen morphed in as he was running across, so... that was quite nice, but now here comes some roaches. This is, again, going to be stopped because there's the 8 Mutalisks coming, but Nerchio is so far ahead at this stage.
He's got, I mean, 2 Banelings, they're just waddling around for good measure. These lings will be able to pick out 3 of the first 4 roaches, but look at this 3rd base. It is into serious pressure right now. The Mutalist will be able to clean this up, like you say. 3 roaches alone won't be able to prevent the, force the cancel, rather, on that hatchery. But Nerchio must be in such a comfortable position. He's at 100 supply right now versus 73, and thanks to having that 3rd base for much longer, Maddles, we were talking about this earlier, he's now ahead by 20 workers.
He's got spores up too, and that helps against actually quite a large number. A little Baneling detonation does pick off 3 drones at the 3rd base of Nerchio, and with the Mutalisk coming along, this is annoying. But the Hydra Den is done, and while there aren't any Hydralisks on the field, it is possible for Nerchio to get those. He's just running some roaches forward, changing his mind, pulling back now. Could have just tried to run them through, but obviously the Mutalisks would have picked them off very quickly.
These are basically the Doctor Who roaches, man. All they have to do is time travel and just buy time for the Hydralisk to come out right now. That's their only function in this game, is to make sure those mutas don't do too much damage, threaten counterattacks as often as possible. Ooh, and that Spore Crawler actually getting within range and picking off a Mutalisk there. But the Queen's getting picked off is actually a big win there for Bly. I'm not sure it's enough to bring him back into this game, though.
Nerchio down to only 2 Queens now, but he's going to get another one out quite quick. He's got a decent number of Hydralisks too, and with only 11 Mutalisks, those Hydralisks can just go straight up and take the fight. There's just enough damage output from them. The Spore Crawler coverage is sweet too. On the plus side for Bly, his third hatch is now finished, but he's having to produce units in order to just try and fend off this potential Roach Hydra aggression, which means his drone count is still at 43 to the 61 of his teammate.
Oh, and a great pick off there as well, actually. The Hydra's managing to get a single Overlord of Bly's, guys, and that actually supply blocks Bly, and he didn't have another Overlord starting. So he's going to be supply blocked for a good 30 seconds here. The Mute is still trying to do a little bit of harassment damage, but Spore Crawlers are just so effective against them right now that unless he chooses to go ahead and take them out, he's not going to make any inroads. And look at where Nerchio is on the map, Maddles.
Yeah, Nerchio is just going to be going in for the kill here. There's no choice for Bly other than to come back and try and defend this. There's a big wave of drones. 14 Banelings are morphing for Bly. That could be enough.
14 workers on the way as this attack came in is not going to be spelling an easier defense for Bly here. Nerchio wreaking havoc will comfortably take down the third base. No problems whatsoever. He's in the natural now, and the only defense is Banelings at this point. We've got the Mutas, but the Hydras are going to take care of them. This looks like it's Bly's last stand.
A couple of the Hydralisks will go down. Buys a bit of time for Bly, but is there enough Mutas to even engage up against 3 Hydralisks?
Yeah, there are actually, and he did a good job with the Banelings. He actually targeted down the Hydras with the Banelings. The problem is, by the time these Roaches actually go down, Maddles, they'll have killed so much stuff that Bly's just going to be half the supply of Nerchio. It's 70 versus 124 right now, and these Roaches are still doing damage.
Bly's not giving up on this yet, but with these reinforcements coming through, with more drones getting taken down, Bly even went and checked to see in case there was a 4th hatch on the other side, but since there isn't, this is very much an uphill battle right now. It's more like free-falling without a parachute. Nerchio, he's won this game. Yeah. I don't want to call it too early, but short of a miracle, there's not really anything Bly can do. He may be able to hang on for a bit longer, but with the Infestation Pit, 11 more Hydras coming out, and a drone count of what will soon be 30 to 60. Exactly. 3 bases to 2.
It's double a drone count with an extra base, and that's really the story of this game at the moment. Nerchio just did a great job of holding that third during that Zergling Baneling aggression. He recognized that as an opportunity to get ahead there, and he just put down the third hatch while everything was going on, elsewhere in the middle of the map and in Bly's base. And Bly, at that time, was just focused on making more Zerglings, and really that decision has started compounding throughout this game. So even though it's 17.5 minutes in, there's very little Bly can do to force this open again.
Bly just lost a Mutalisk as well to the Hydras there, and that's a huge loss. He only was at 11, so just under 10% of his Mutalflock was just destroyed in one volley. I'm trying to think positively about what Bly could do at this stage, but I think...
Must think positive?
I think
Sorry,
the best...
I just had Lego movie flashbacks there.
I think the best thing that Bly could do right now is look for potential vulnerabilities in Nerchio for game number 2.
Yeah, and that's exactly... Well, he's basically flying around checking that out right now. Here come the Mutas engaging with way more Hydralisks than there are Mutas, so that's just not going to be a good option at all. An Overseer going to go down here. No, it looks like the game has made a liar out of me. It escapes with 8 hit points, but Bly has nothing other than Mutalisk to stop this advance, and wow, well, there go 4 Mutas, 5 Mutas, and the game, frankly. He's got 2 Mutas to defend now, and it's not going to be enough.
Nerchio has played this quite safely. I think there were opportunities for him to look to win before this, but he got a bit overconfident yesterday in a game against DMC, which he ended up losing, thinking he'd won it. So playing it safe. Banelings trying to push through. They do connect with some of the Hydralisks. That's good, but Bly knows he's not going to be able to stop that. GG is called, and Nerchio takes game 1 of this best of 3.